Welcome back to Broadway's Next on Stage, sponsored by the International College of Musical Theater. And I'm your host, Richard Ridge. Last week, we announced our top 5 contestants in our college category. Since then, you voted, and tonight we're back to announce our top 3. Now, our top 3 contestants received the most votes from our most recent round of voting, which opened on Monday, May 31st, and closed last night at midnight. And you voted them our top 3. So now our esteemed panel of judges will provide valuable feedback for them to use in their next round of performances that'll be voted on by the public next week. Our judges will also review performances from the bottom 3 contestants who didn't quite make the top 3, pushing one of them forward to compete in the next round and for your votes. Now let's welcome back our judges. Please welcome Courtney Reed, Kate Rockwell, and Queen Leslie Margarita.
Hello!
Judges, it's the final 3, top 3. Are you ready?
Yes, so ready.
Oh my gosh. So judges, this week we asked our contestants what was one of their favorite roles that they had played in college. So before we get to them, I want to ask you, what were some of the favorite roles that you played when you were in college? Anybody can go.
I actually did Dames at Sea in college, but I played Ruby. And then, full circle, got to play the old one.
Oh, no. I love that. So she was one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, I loved, yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I got to play Sylvia in Two Gentlemen of Verona. And what was so full circle for me was that when I did Aladdin, Clifton Davis, who would have played my opposite, was like playing my dad. And I just was like, this voice is so familiar to me because I just remember to whom it may concern. I was like, that's you, Dad, that's you.
That's a really big full circle moment because, of course, he was one of the original stars of the musical Two Gentlemen of Verona on Broadway.
Yeah.
That plays your dad. That's wild. Kate, for you.
I played April in a production of Company, and which is like a super sweet little role, except for the sex scene with the champagne is one of the funniest things I have ever done to date. It's just like so absurdly it's too big for life. And so I was like, I think that was like my foray into like physical comedy. And I was like, oh, I get it. I get why people like this.
I love these choices. Those are great. Now, listen, for everyone watching at home, if you'd like to learn more about our remaining contestants, just scan the QR code below to view Broadway World's Stage Mag, an interactive virtual program to help you get to know all of our Next on Stage contestants and this incredible group of judges. Now, to create a show program of your very own, just visit stagemag.broadwayworld.com. Okay, judges, are you ready for our top 3?
Yes!
It's going to be so hard. Okay, here we go. The first contestant in our top 3 is Charlotte Odesanya, whose favorite past role was the witch in Into the Woods. Now, last week, Charlotte sang Legalize My Name from St. Louis Woman. And this week, Charlotte is singing I Wanted to Change Him from Hallelujah Baby, a classic. Enjoy.
I wanted to mold him. I told him to stop playing dead, turn on his heat. Now take a look at what I created. Monster of mine, take a bow. I just learned lesson number 1. You change a man, and when you're done, your meddling carries a curse. He turns out worse. I wanted to shape him and change him. I knew he was warm as fresh bread, sweet as a beet, just good for nothing but laughs and loving. But I switched him on a new track. Oh, I wanted to change him. And now that I've changed him, I want to change him back. I just learned lesson number 2. You change a man, and when you're through, you think you've made a success. You've made a mess. I wanted to change him, not lose him. I wanted a man, not a boy. Someone to be by my side forever. But he switched up on his own track. Oh, I wanted to change him. Now something has changed him. I want to change him back. Oh, what's the use? I'll never change him back.
Charlotte, what a way to kick off our top 3. Courtney, I'm going to start with you.
Charlotte, I just love you. You are just so sweet and charming. Also, the setting. I can't get over the setting. Like, where is your house? I need answers. I love everything you do, honestly. My only comment is I want to see something like so different from you. And I'm noticing when you're singing some of these like really jazzy qualities in your voice. And I just had this urge to like hear you sing like a very sweet, like sort of jazzy tune. Something from it's like On a Clear Day, or one of the like some. I'm trying to think of something that's actually musical theater and jazzy that you could do, or anything jazzy, or any song that you'd want to create jazzy. And maybe that's just me being selfish and I want to hear you sing a jazz song. But that, and I think I wanted to see a little less sort of commenting on the material and feeling it more instead of like sort of commenting on it. But I love you and I understand why you're in the top 3. You're amazing.
Love it. Kate, for you. Sure.
I agree with Courtney. I can totally understand why you're here. I think you were very deserving of being in the top 3. I still want to know where you get this vase collection that's happening to your right. I'm so obsessed with like fire colored vases. I do look at them when I'm watching your video. I like this a lot. I think this had like super great moments. And then I think we had moments where we sort of lost focus a little bit. And I like some of the sort of more pattery stuff. I felt like you were super present and super specific. And then when we got into the choruses, I felt like we got a little bit singery. And I think some of that is just the style of this, like having to fight against the nature of the song, which is that it's very repetitive. That's kind of a thing with old-fashioned songs. We have to remember that when we repeat something, there's a reason we repeat it. So keep that super present when you're approaching this more classic material. Remember that just because it was written at a time where we perhaps did put a little bit more emphasis on the vocal than we do now, I want to know why you're saying the same thing for the 13th time. I would love to hear something contemporary from you for our last thing. I think we've lived in a really cool place with you vocally. And I love that you love classic stuff. I just want to see you switch it up a little bit for this last bit. But I think you're wonderful, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're in our top 3.
Great. Queen Leslie.
Charlotte, I love you. Your voice is just, I'm with the other girls. Like, I just want to hear you soar. So something a little less pattery maybe next week. I totally agree with Kate. I lost you a little bit in this story. And what Courtney said too, you were commenting on it. It's the... I don't need to know that you're frustrated because you're doing this, which is very old timey, but it just doesn't translate often. It just makes you look like you're not in it. Like you're just, oh, I'm frustrated, so I should do that, because you have such great instincts already. So trust them, and just really give us a story. It was like, I just lost you a little bit. So, and it was like what Kate said, it was not in the patter, which yeah. I think you have to concentrate on more. It was when you were singing and maybe concentrating on your tone, which is gorge. Yeah, you so deserve to be here because you have such great instincts. I just want you to trust them, because I think you maybe don't.
Got it. You know, these are our top 3. So next week is their final song, which is the callback or the encore. So everybody, like the judges say, just go for it. Just go for it next week. Think outside of the box and just think of that one song. You'd be like, wow, I would love to do this for my final song. Just go for it. And like I said, this is that HGTV set. I love that. She should have her, right?
Yes.
That's totally a TV set. Okay, she'll tell us all about that. Okay, next up is Kodiak Thompson, whose favorite past role is Bobby Strong from Urinetown. Last week, Kodiak performed Later from A Little Night Music, and this week he's singing Never Ever Getting Rid of Me from Waitress. Judges, enjoy Kodiak.
I will never let you let me leave, I promise I'm not lying. Go ahead, ask anybody who has seen me trying. I'm not going. If it seems like I did, I'm probably waiting outside. Such a stubborn man, you'll likely never meet another. When we have our family dinner, you can ask my mother. She's the best. You'll learn more about her on our family history test. I'm gonna do this right, show you I'm not moving. Wherever you go, it won't be far to follow. I'm gonna love you so you'll learn what I already know. I love you means you're never, ever, ever getting rid of me. Well, you can try, oh, but I love you means you're never, ever, ever getting rid of me. I grew up an only child in the suburb of a city. I spent my days alone, my only friend was a stray kitty called Sardine. I thought it was hilarious to call a cat a kind of fish. She played hard to get hissing while she scratched me. What she was trying to say was, Obi, come and catch me. I learned quickly that perseverance stood between a cat and her new best friend, me. Oh, I'm gonna do this right, show you I'm not moving. Wherever you go, I won't be far to follow. Oh, I'm gonna love you so you'll learn what I already know. I love you means you're never, ever, ever getting rid of me. You can try, oh, but I love you means you're never, ever, ever getting rid of me.
Kodiak. Okay, Queen Leslie, I'm going to start with you.
Kodiak, I love you, my blue background twin. You're so good. You're so versatile. Here's the thing with this song. You can literally do anything. Yeah. So, and we're being so picky, you guys, because you're top 3. And by the way, you should so be here. And I cannot wait to see how much work you're going to get, because it's going to be a ton. The thing that was so genius about this song is how opposite is Chris Fitzgerald, right? Was the original, I think. And he's like the guy. He played it so against what the lyrics were saying, which is why it was funny. Like the thing with the cat was just like, oh my gosh, this cat was going to attack me. But then I realized it just wanted me to catch it. Like it was funny because he didn't play into what it actually was. And so I felt like you needed more of that, because you're so cute that I would have been like, well, I would have gone with you anyway. It doesn't matter. So we need to find the weird in it, which I know you can do because you've done it before. It just didn't connect with me this one, because I was just like, oh my God, he's so cute, of course. So I want you to push yourself and find the not psychotic, just the weird. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Because this is what the high school judges said yesterday. Find your unique weirdness. In these numbers, you know. Kate, for you.
I'm like nodding aggressively because I literally was like, I just want you to be comfortable being weirder, which is literally like the thing that like you spend your entire youth and young adulthood like fighting against, like how weird we are. And then like now you come to us and we're like, hey, be weirder. So sorry. Because you are naturally, you naturally give off a very like sweet and comfortable, like easy to talk to sort of vibe. And so a song like this, a character like this, who is a little bit like, I hate the word quirky, I hate it so much, but like it does sort of have this all-encompassing definition of like, something is just a little bit different, right? Something is just a little bit like, huh. And that's what I want from you. I want us, and again, we've gone like way far in the other direction, right? Like you really pushed the plug into the wall when we did, I can't remember the name of the number, but like it was 2 weeks ago. And I want you to find a comfortable place where you don't have to go so extreme, but you can still allow that weirdo to come out, because that weirdo's there, or you wouldn't be doing this competition. You wouldn't want to do this crazy life that we live. I know you're a weirdo in there somewhere. And I just want you to find the comfort of like letting him, her, it be a part of of a character that's grounded in reality, right? Because this is a character that's a real person. So I understand why you're trying to like make it a little bit more real person-y. It's not a caricature. However, it is also a unique perspective. And that's where we get into the weird, right? The weirdness is what gives us our unique perspective. And that's what I want you to really focus on when you do these character-y pieces. That's what makes them more fun. Sorry, I'm saying my opinion, more fun than like the romantic leads, because you do get to like have those weirdo things. I mean, Chris Fitzgerald is like the world's weirdo, which is why we love him so much. I don't think he'd be mad if I said that.
No.
But that's, you know, you're talking to a bunch of weirdos here. So we think weirdo is a plus sign. So that's what I encourage you to do, is let that weirdo become a part of your grounded characters as well as your more extreme ones.
Beautifully put. I love that. Courtney.
Oh my gosh, I agree 1,000%. Kodiak, you're ridiculously talented. Like, I'm listening to you sing and I'm like, okay, he can sing anything. It's so smooth. It's so easy to listen to. This song is so tricky because you can't really breathe. And I actually only saw Jeremy Morris play it, and I've seen the show like 50 times, and like every time he was playing it, and I saw it on tour, and he was playing it on tour as well. So I was like, oh my gosh. But I don't know how they do it, because he's running around stage and singing it so quickly, and it's not like an easy song vocally to sing. So you have to like, I just kept thinking, I thought definitely lean into the weird, but it's like, if you can picture the other actor, you know, it's like when you're doing a scene, right? And it's like, you don't have an actor there. So you have to imagine their facial expressions, and imagine he's running around the stage, like he's so persistent, like he's trying to get her, and she's like, no. And so he's using all of these different tactics to like, you know, no, get it. Like we have so much in common, and like, I'm a weirdo too, and like all this stuff. So it has to kind of build. And I felt like it sort of stayed the same. And I think, yes, leaning into the weird with roles like this, and then just imagining the other characters' facial expressions and like their reactions to you while you're doing this stuff. It's like, it would motivate you to do more and go further. But you're amazing. And like, I literally cannot wait to see what you do next week.
It's very interesting because he showed a lot of colors over the entire competition. I mean,
so versatile,
right? The choice of material. He said he's showed so many different sides already of what he can do, which I think is quite fascinating with this whole top three.
Absolutely.
Now, next week, that Charlotte steps out of the box and does something totally different, like, you know, you asked her to do, which is great, but she's phenomenal also. Okay, our last contestant to make our top three is Mia Charisse Hall. Okay, now Mia's favorite past role was the leading player in Pippin. Last week she sang I Never Has Seen Snow from House of Flowers, and this week she's taking on Nothing Short of Wonderful from Dogfight. Enjoy.
Just a girl, just a guy, but it's him and it's you and it's true. What you've heard, like a bird, how you lift, and your chest feels a pull like you're full of a joy, cause a boy interrupted your shift. Like something nothing short of wonderful. Oh, it was nothing short of wonderful. What if when we're dancing and clumsy our feet collide? What if when we're dancing he dips me, our lips meet and we glide across the room? And it feels nothing short of wonderful, nothing short of wonderful. Oh! Hurry up, he won't wait, he can't wait half the night, either white or maroon, you're a loon, what a mess. And you think you might bust, but you've just gotta choose, pick the shoes and decide on a dress. And you'll be nothing short of wonderful, nothing short of wonderful. Oh my gosh, on a date, but you can't make him wait, no you can't make him late. And your room is in heaps and you can't see the floor, but you finally get what a girdle is for. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oof, okay, wow. All righty. Queen Leslie, I'll start with you.
Mia, you're so good. You're so good. And I just, again, all three of you got, but I loved this. Mia, I loved the first section. Love the first section. Your voice is gorgeous. So let's just dive into the acting part of it. I got a little confused when you looked at the camera. I don't know this show very well, so I could be wrong. But I got a little confused when you looked at the camera, and then when you looked away again, which I loved, the looking away part. But I didn't understand the second half of it. And I lost you. I felt like the joy left. And the joke with the girdle didn't really kind of land because I lost you. So I'm not, again, I don't know that maybe the other girls know the song more, but look, I think you're so good. And I think you're going to work so much. I'm being contradictory because I loved the specificity of the first section. I just wanted it in the second. I don't know the song though. Help me out, please.
Oh, beautifully. Yeah. Kate.
Yeah, so I do a little bit better. I think this is one of those moments where actually your camera being so tight actually did damage because there's so much physicality happening in the second part of this, especially this section of it, and we lost your ability to move because you were, you're here, like you're restricted to this tiny little space. Which in the beginning part, when it's all very internal, is kind of beautiful. But then in the second part, when it starts moving, became inhibitive. And I think you felt that. And so there's all this talk about like what you're doing and your energy going everywhere. And you couldn't really do that because you were sort of stuck. And again, like this is one of those moments where you're like, musical theater is not meant to be filmed like this. We're not meant to only have one camera and one moment where we are meant to have continuity on stage when you can have your stillness. And then you can go back to like operating within your space. And in this moment, I just felt like you lost the ability to step outside of yourself, which is what's happening in that second bit. It's like, oh my God, I have so much to do. Oh my God, oh my God, this is happening. It's in and out, in and out, in and out. It's almost Sondheim-esque, this song, because there's so much of taking in your environment and losing track of where you are, and taking in your environment and losing track of where you are. And on camera, especially when it's so tight, I think you would have benefited from a little bit more of a 3/4 shot or even like a half body shot, just to give you some room to play. You have such a unique perspective on things. And I'm so interested in the way that you do that out of this dumb box world that I hate living in. I feel like this box world, particularly with you, because you do have a very unique storytelling mode. I can't wait to see you live. I can't wait to see you in person because I'm so interested in your weird, like to talk about what we were talking about before. Like you have this very unique way of looking at the world, and I'm really into it. And your voice is so stunning, and your look matches. You just all matches up so beautifully. And I just think I like want to see you do this for real, and not stuck in this box. I do think that in general, if you're doing particularly a more active musical theater song, step back a little bit. Give yourself a little bit more room. This is great for self-taping if you're talking about television and film, or a super still emotional thing. But when we're doing something that's a little bit more physicalized and a little more high energy, you might be benefited from a little bit more room to breathe.
Yeah, I wanted to see her looking in the mirror for like the girdle stuff, and that's why I didn't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and it literally is what it is. I mean, she's trashing her room, getting dressed, and we don't have that.
Yeah,
that ability to move, that ability to have energy be so wild.
Yeah, got it. Beautifully put. Courtney.
I agree with the ladies. It is a really tough world that we live in because it wouldn't be that way in real life, right? So it's like we have to do this life with establishing where you are and like, moving your body to establish, like entering the scene and exiting the scene. It's like you have to be your own director and filmmaker and makeup artist and actor. It's like you have to do everything. And that's difficult. But what I will say about this was my favorite performance from you because I felt like it was very focused in a way that we had been asking for so many weeks, to just sort of focus the energy. And so for that, this was my favorite because I noticed that you took the note in not like sort of shifting your eyes everywhere and not being able to just focus all of the energy into one spot. It is difficult with this song because it does sort of shift in the middle, and then it becomes like this frantic whatever, which I think, yes, can be solved, like Kate said, by just stepping back a little bit. But you're good. You're taking all of the jobs from everybody. So
thank you for the joy, right? We've been asking for joy from you. You gave it to us, and I just want to acknowledge that because it was really lovely to see you like brighten up and light up from the inside. Like that was, I want to make sure you know that we see that. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so tough, like you said, with how to film these sort of things, because these kids or these young adults are doing musical theater numbers on a screen. It's so hard. So it's like, do I play to an audience? What am I playing to? You know, it's so hard. And like, am I too close? Am I too far? Am I showing too much body? Is it too much background? It's like, it's got to be so frustrating, as it is for all of you when you do your self-tapes, as we know from Queen Leslie's Instagram posts. You know, but you know, you look at these things, say, am I showing too much? Is it too much of this? You know, it's got to be so confusing for these kids, but they're all going for it. And like I said, they all made choices this week. And I think, you know, they're all so interesting, this top three. They're all so different and such unique types. So just wonderful.
And I will say, like, don't, oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I will say, like, don't give up though, because like I literally helped a friend self-tape yesterday for 4 hours. And I was like, dude, you need to get it together. Like, and this is what I'm like. And meanwhile, I'm like, I have a breakdown almost every time I self-tape. Like, I literally want to quit the business every single time I self-tape. So I was like, I get it. But I was like, boo, we've done this for 4 hours now. Like, we totally get it. Like, it never gets better, except it gets better, but it sometimes doesn't get better. So just know that we feel you. Like, we hear you. We feel you.
See that?
Also, even though this is like now, it doesn't go away, because I've self-taped before even quarantine. Like if you're traveling, if you're so the skills that you're learning now, you're gonna use. So you're good. Get them now when you're in college.
Yeah.
No,
I love that you're giving them this advice, because you go through the frustration every day, because you do these nonstop, and you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, am I good enough? Did I do this right? The third take was better, but I hated the camera was too far back. I'm sure it's that same thing that they're going through. You all go through as you offer all this insight to everybody. I think that's well, there you have it, judges. That is our top three. Now, when we come back, our judges will see performances from the bottom three contestants who almost made it, letting one of them battle it out for a spot in our top three. We'll be right back. Welcome back, judges. You will now watch performances from the three performers who almost made it into our top three. The judges will then convene and decide to allow one of the contestants to move forward with the competition. So first, we have Jamie Shea Kamen. Last week, she sang He Wanted a Girl from Giant. And this week, she's singing Easy to Be Hard from Hair. Enjoy.
How can people have no feelings? How can they ignore their friends? Easy to be proud, easy to say no. Especially people who care about strangers, who care about evil and social injustice. Do you only care about the bleeding crowd? Oh, about a needy friend. I need a friend. How can people have no feeling? You know I'm hung up on you. Easy to give in, it's easy to help out. Oh, especially people who care about strangers, who say they care about social injustice. Do you only care about the bleeding crowd? How about a needy friend? I need a friend. How can people have eyes. How can they ignore their friend? It's easy to be hard. It's easy to be cold. Easy to be proud. Easy to say no.
Wow. Next up is Ty Gabriel Jones. Last week he sang I'll Cover You reprise from Rent, and this week Ty is singing Corner of the Sky from Pippin. Enjoy.
Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats sit on the windowsill, children sit in the snow. Why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Every man has his daydreams, every man has his goal. People like the way dreams have of sticking to the soul. Thunderclouds have their lightning, nightingales have their song. Don't you see, I want my life to be something more than long. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. So many men seemed destined to settle for something small, but I know I won't rest until I have it all. So don't ask where I'm going, just listen when I'm gone. Far away you'll hear me singing softly to the dawn. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. The sky.
And finally, it's Nate Garner. Last week, you heard him sing Household Name from The View Upstairs. And this week, Nate is singing Delivery from Working. Enjoy.
This is my first job. I smell like a burger. The register is easy. Hey, you want a burger? I hit the picture of a burger. Every day the same old thing. Hello, chicken nugget, quarter pounder. And I wait for that phone to ring, that phone to ring. The phone at the end of the counter. Then I see the manager writing down an order. Then I see the manager making change. Then I see the manager writing an address. I whisper, yes, give me some change and send me on my way. Okay, I'm I'm off on a delivery. Now I'm finally on my own. Delivery peace, and I'm heading to parts unknown. Fresh air and exercise, and sometimes I throw in some extra fries. For calling it in today, my world was gray until they sent me away on a delivery. Now the wind is in my hair. No one's watching me, I could wander anywhere. But the food is getting cold, and so I'll do as I am told. Responsibility, I have responsibilities. See, my father sits at home, he doesn't work anymore. Well, my mother works a double shift at the department store. Then it's nuts not having to ask for money, and it's nuts not having to ask for dinner, and it's nuts on nights when you have to get away. I go to work every day, I'm putting money away. Hey, you know what they say, slow and steady. I work for minimum wage, it's pretty good for my age. And if I can manage to save, then I'll be ready to go wherever I gotta go. Wherever destiny leads me. For now the restaurant feeds me, and my family needs me. Delivery, and the customer's always right. Delivery, thanks for getting me out of the house tonight. If I save a little every day, this job's gonna deliver me far away. And I'll look back on this and say, thank God for delivery.
Judges, you've got your work cut out for you and a lot to talk about. When we come back, our judges will share who they're going to save from the bottom three. Broadway's Next on Stage is sponsored by the International College of Musical Theater, offering world-class musical theater training taught by West End and Broadway professionals. They bring in the very best talent from both sides of the Atlantic, who know what it takes to succeed in order to provide the best training available anywhere in the world. So go to www.theicmt.com today to start your journey to Broadway, the West End, and to wherever your musical theater dreams may take you. Welcome back, judges. Who have you decided to move on for that final spot in the top three? Who are you
It's so hard because everyone is so good. But I have to say, this week was Nate.
Nate.
You're saving Nate because Nate, that performance was phenomenal. Yeah. I laughed from second one, and then it was like heart-wrenching. It was everything. You gave us everything. So we're saving Nate.
Specificity. Yeah.
Nate, I am just floored by this. I thought that this performance was absolute perfection from start to finish with, and just like Leslie was saying, it's like, and Kate, like your choices are so specific. You created the atmosphere. You created. I knew exactly how you felt about everything. It's that's a difficult song to sing with, create in a little box. And all of a sudden, I knew where you were. I knew what you were. How excited were you with the delivery moment? That honestly killed me. I want that to be like a thing. The delivery, like I want that to be a thing. And then even with the moment at the end, with just like sort of holding on you at the end, like that's a very strong choice. I just thought it was literal perfection. I don't know how many times it took for you to do that tape, to do that tape, but I this is my favorite performance of the season.
Yeah. Like Kate, you said he went for it. He did everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, we covered all of the things, right? You were so specific with your choices. I knew exactly where you were. I knew exactly what you were looking at. You had multiple points of focus, but they were all so unique and they meant something, right? So that we never left into like land of singerdom. We never went into like, I didn't know who you were talking to or what you were talking about. It was so articulated and so precise without being choreographed, which is exactly what we're talking about, particularly when it comes to songs like, you know, this kind of comedy. I mean, it's comedy. It's also incredibly heartfelt, but like the specificity of choice is exactly what we've been asking for this whole competition. And it was amazing. I can't believe it ended up in the bottom. I'm what you come on, internet, figure it out. But this was excellent, and I loved everything about this. So thank you for that.
So finally, go ahead, Courtney. You were going to say something
Oh,
else.
I was just going to say one more thing. I just want everyone to use this as an example. I forgot to say this, but
Yeah.
I think this song doesn't necessarily show like crazy vocals. It's kind of like a lot of speak singy, but the choices and the specificity will always, hi, Dougie.
Sorry. Dewey agrees.
I was going to say,
Totally agreed.
performance.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like the vocals don't have to soar necessarily in a song for us to be like, this was incredible.
Yeah.
And you can make minor mistakes and that doesn't matter. It's really what's so important is just everything that you portrayed in that song and what we're praising you for. So I just want everyone else to sort of see that. Like, don't worry so much about this.
And again,
Worry
like
about everything. Yeah.
going into this last time, right? Like for these 4 people, this is your last chance to make a video. And like, this is where you get to leave your final impression, right? Like this is the last one we're going to have. So let go of trying to show your highest note. Let go of trying to show like, or whatever your like favorite song in musical theater is, maybe that like you like, just go with something that like really speaks to you as a human being. Yeah. And communicate that story. Tell us why it speaks to you. Tell us what about it speaks to you without telling us, right? Like tell me that you love it without telling me that you love it. That's like a cool thing on the internet, right? So like that's what we're doing now. That's what these videos are, is like show me what connects you to these people. Show me what connects you to these characters, not just the notes on the page, not just how many runs you can put into it, not just how fantastic you sound on an F sharp. But like, show me why. Show me why that F sharp is there. If you're gonna show me an F sharp, I want to see why, not just the how. We were
talking before. There's a lot of unnecessary riffing this week.
There's some riffing this week.
A lot of unnecessary. So yeah, I'm with them. Let go of the perfect and yeah.
See, that was a flawless, complete performance where you combined vocal and acting. Like you've all said during this whole thing, it's not all about the voice. It's about a performance too, and you have to find that perfect blend, which Nate did. So, like I said, what a great way. Thank you for saving him. What a great way to sort of close out.
Nate, the last thing I'm going to say is I'm going to send this tape to Russell Crowe.
Because you've been thinking about one of these the whole entire time, right?
Guys, it's on Netflix right now or HBO Max. I can't remember. It's on one of them. If you want to watch Russell Crowe's some breaking something performance, you guys, it's on streaming services right now.
I'm sorry, Richie. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, I love this. I think
I do want Nate's the very first time you see him, and I want that as my screensaver. It's
just I know. It's so good.
What a way to close out this week. Okay, congratulations to everyone who is moving on to our top 3. We'll be back next week on a special night, Thursday, June 10th for our finale. Who will be the winner of Broadway's Next on Stage? Tune in at 8 p.m. to find out. Now, make sure to follow Broadway World on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to find out when the next round of voting is open to the public. Ladies, thank you very much. Judges, everyone, good night, and we'll see you next week for our finale.
Yay!